The UK's Maritime Component Command, based in Bahrain, is one of the most tangible signs of Britain's continuing Gulf region commitment. It's part of an array of British assets and interests to be found in the Gulf states, from Qatar to Oman, Saudi Arabia to Kuwait. Not part of a revolutionary rebasing strategy, more an evolutionary move back into the region, according to the Royal United Services Institute. Last November, David Cameron would have been aware of the deployment of British forces around the region as he visited the UAE. Here, the Minhad Air Base has been crucial for transiting equipment and personnel to and from Afghanistan. Millions of pounds has been spent upgrading the facility ahead of the planned Afghan drawdown in 2014. But now Rusi says there's a key decision point where ongoing and indeed increased defence orientation to the Gulf states is both plausible and logical.
Britain is expecting to have what I would call a smart presence in the Gulf, not rebasing lots of troops there, but having the ability to move through the Gulf, to go in and out of the Gulf, to use bases as a jumping off point for other operations, and also to strengthen our own presence in the Gulf for all sorts of good political reasons.
Laying aside event deployments like the Gulf Wars and support operations for Afghanistan, this would mark a significant change of direction for the UK, reversing a decision of 45 years ago to ditch our military bases east of Suez as the empire crumbled into dust.
The time is now midnight, and the British Forces Broadcasting Service Singapore is closing down.
The Union Jack was lowered. The last of the 24 ships making up the Royal Navy Task Force sailed away.
After the British left, the US partially filled the vacuum of Western influence in the Gulf region and further afield. But with their growing emphasis on the Pacific, the UK may well, in a small, focused way, be filling the gap.
A greater British presence in the Gulf will send an important message to Iran that we take Gulf security seriously at a time when Middle East security seems to be declining. That also relates to our relationship with the United States, because the US is keen to look for partners to help stabilise the Gulf in very uncertain times.
Iran poses the main state-led threat to stability in the region, but the Arab Spring has proven how quickly states can tumble from the inside. Even Bahrain suffered rioting. A UK military presence offers reassurance.
Everything is up in the air at the moment. Nobody knows what the Gulf will look like in 2 or 3 years' time. So it's entirely sensible to try to reinforce some real pegs in the ground. Our friends in the Gulf are very important to us. And as we enter this very uncertain period in Middle East politics, it makes sense to demonstrate our commitment, both militarily and politically. Our friends in the Gulf are very keen that we do this.
Economic gain may be the benefit for UK plc and its businesses. Sales, for example, of UK-made planes helping safeguard British jobs. A re-energised UK presence might also deter the Chinese, who are increasingly seeking to gain influence in the region. But none of this is without risk, and alignment to countries with dubious human rights records is never straightforward. As the UK helps Qatar train its future officers and Kuwait has chosen the UK to run its own version of Sandhurst, Britain's influence seems to be increasing. Ultimately, though, the Rusi report argues, the UK needs to be clear on what its strategic aims are. Tim Cooper, Forces News.